Thanks,
and tonight,
Greta.
President Obama on defense over the administration's nuclear negotiations with Iran. Some critics accusing President Obama of flip-flopping on critical aspects of the deal. Today, Fox News Chief White House correspondent Ed Henry confronting Secretary of Energy Ernest Moniz.
You said that Fordo will be stripped down, but the president seemed to promise the American people something much different in December of 2013 when he said, quote, "We know that they don't need to have an underground fortified facility like Fordo in order to have a peaceful nuclear program." He wasn't talking about stripping it down. He was saying either wiping it out or shutting it down altogether. What changed? Didn't you? It seemed like you moved the goalposts here.
Well, to me, the key is, and our objective was to make sure it was not a breakout pathway. It is not. There is even no fissile material allowed into that facility. It is not an enrichment facility. So it is closed down as an enrichment facility.
And Senator Lindsey Graham joins us. Good evening, sir. And Ed Henry's question about flip-flopping. Did President Obama flip-flop? Did he move the goalposts? And if so, does that have enormous consequences, or is it smart negotiating?
No, he did a backflip big time. The Washington Post editorial a couple of days ago could explain this better than anybody. They're not a right-wing newspaper. They said that this deal is far short of the goals set by President Obama, which is to dismantle the Iranian nuclear program. Not one centrifuge is destroyed. And he said no civilian reactor program needs a fortified underground facility like Fordo, and they're going to have that infrastructure in place, and only God knows what they'll do with it in the future. If I were president, would close it down because they don't need it.
Now, Senator Corker has a bill that's being advanced through the Senate to require the president to go to Capitol Hill to get authorization to sign the agreement. First of all, what makes you think that the president would adhere to that? And secondly, I still don't understand why this isn't treaty subject to the treaty clause of the Constitution, Article 2, Section 2, Clause 2. So why are we now creating more bureaucracy for the president to do the same thing he should be doing under the Constitution?
Well, all the lawyers in the Senate and other people I've talked to say it's not a treaty, but here's what it is. It's a requirement for the president to get our approval to lift congressional sanctions that we created. The sanctions against Iran created by Congress passed 100-0, and we're not going to sit on the sidelines and let the president of the United States lift sanctions we created without our input, without a debate, and without a vote. So the Corker-Graham-Menendez bill, I think, passes overwhelmingly in April.
Senator, I wish your lawyers in the Senate would call me and educate me, because I sure don't agree that it's not a treaty. I think it's a treaty.
I'll go with you, Greta, but but at the end of the day, we still got the same hurdle of getting 67 votes to overcome a veto if he vetoes the bill, and I think we'll have more than 67 votes to insist that Congress review this deal before it's binding.
I think the Senate's trying to take the easy way out on this one and create a new bill rather than put the president's feet to the fire on the Constitution, but that's just me. Anyway, let me ask you about something else, Senator. Sure. Here's what you said about your colleague, Senator Rand Paul.
As to Rand Paul, I like Rand a lot, but at the end of the day, his foreign policy is to the left of Barack Obama.
What's that, friendly fire?
Well, all I was saying basically is that if Rand Paul's the nominee of the party, I will support them. But Rand Paul was the one senator, Greta, that voted against my resolution 2 years ago, saying that we will not allow Iran to get a nuclear capability and contain them. I think it would be a lousy idea to give them a nuclear weapon and hope you could contain them. 90 senators agree with me. The one senator who opposed this resolution was Rand Paul. I don't think the best way to negotiate with the Iranians is have the one senator who would be okay with a nuclear Iran to go in to take Obama's place. I think Rand Paul would be to the left of Obama on this issue, but if he's our nominee, I'll support him.
What's your thought about? You've had harsh words of President Obama and how he's negotiated this this agreement, whatever you want to call it, with Iran. Your thoughts about how current Secretary of State John Kerry, former Senator John Kerry, is doing?
Well, at the end of the day, I said that I can't think of a worse negotiator for America than Barack Obama. The Iranians don't fear him. They don't respect him. The Israelis don't trust him. His foreign policy is a complete failure. At the end of the day, I think he's a flawed negotiator, and almost anybody could do a better job negotiating with the Iranians because Barack Obama has just been a weak, indecisive, and incompetent president, and he's the last guy I'd want to negotiate with the Iranians because they don't take him seriously.
Well, looking at some reports out of Israel tonight, they continue to be very distressed with any possible agreement that's been that the president is negotiating with Iran. So what happens? Suppose that this agreement does go through in June. Suppose that it gets passed or signed or whatever. What happens with Israel?
Well, I think the Prime Minister of Israel has made a promise to the Israeli people not to allow the Ayatollahs to acquire a nuclear weapon. If they had to, they would use military force to stop a nuclear weapons production facility coming and being in Iran. And the Arabs are not going to allow the Shia Persians in Iran to have a nuclear capability unmatched. So my biggest fear is that this deal that we're trying to push through as a legacy issue for Obama is going to put Israel in a box and lead to the Arabs wanting a nuclear weapon of their own and having a nuclear arms race in the Mideast. Other than that, it's a good deal.
Other than that, Senator, thank you. And I'm sorry about that earpiece. I know that you're having trouble with it as we try. No, sorry about that. All right, thank you.
Thank you.